Welcome to the Manuchehri Show, where energy and medicine meet. I will be your host for the next hour. I have over 19 years of healthcare experience and began my career as an energy medicine practitioner while working as an oncology nurse at a Seattle area hospital. My skill in moving energy combined with my medical background have been a catalyst for change in many people's lives. I hope the next hour will be transformative for you as well. Good morning and welcome to the Manuchehri Show. We're live here in, Benny, I heard your weather report in soggy Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a little soggy, but it's actually not very cold outside, which is really nice.
We're still layering, though. Don't forget the layer,
Of
kids.
course. I have a jacket on my lap. I've got all kinds of interesting things going on.
My kids are starting to figure that out. I found like a whole bunch of them shoved in the bottom of their book bags yesterday, like all sopping wet from yesterday morning.
Yeah,
so I'm
cute.
Like, guys, were you going to take it out? They're like, Dad, we forgot. You're supposed to do that anyways. I'm like, whoa. You guys got wet stuff. Let's just take it out so Dad can dry it for us.
You're such a good dad.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, on the show, one of the things I love to do is interview people who I believe are on the leading edge of thought. And Lucy Pond, one of my favorite astrologers, is on the show. Again, this morning, she's going to be talking to us about Jupiter.
Back.
She's back. And all these amazing things about it. And, Lucy she and her husband were living in Portland forever. So they were living in a soggy place, too.
She's quite familiar with it.
Now she's like in the warm sunshine. So welcome to the show, Lucy.
Well, it's not warm. It's
Really?
29 degrees here.
You're kidding.
But it is a bright blue sunny day.
Wow.
And what it always is here, 300 days a year, is sunny and clear skies. So that's different.
That is very different from Portland, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for taking time away from your busy life and chatting us up with Jupiter. We're going to be talking about Jupiter, the transits that are going on right now, correct?
Yes. And so a good reminder for anybody who wanted to be following along with their horoscope is to look at your natal horoscope and, find out where Sagittarius is on that chart, which house it's in.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So because Jupiter moved into Sagittarius.
It did. Jupiter went in on the 9th of November. And it stays there until December 2nd, 2019.
Wow.
So it's 1 year. 12. It always stays in a sign for 12 months.
Wow. And so why is this so good for us? Because it feels so delicious, I think. The energy of Jupiter and Sag just feels amazing.
Well, Jupiter is ruled by Sagittarius. So it's like Jupiter is in its own sign. And so that in and of itself, like after it finishes in Sagittarius, so starting December 3rd, 2019, it goes into the sign of Capricorn. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's not its home sign, but Sagittarius is its home sign. Both Jupiter and Sagittarius have the energy of, I can do it. I can make something happen. Very positive, very optimistic, and they're both full speed ahead kinds of energy.
And so we're going to be graced with that energy for the next 12 months.
Yes. And I wanted to also say, it's good to look back and think what happened 12 years ago, because 12 years ago was the last time Jupiter was in Sagittarius. Mm. And I think that most people would know that that was also the time that there was the last financial crisis.
Oh,
and that was a time that people had overextended themselves financially, and a lot of went on with the housing industry, people going for loans that actually they couldn't pay back. Mm. And so one of the problems that can happen with when Jupiter's in Sagittarius is overextending yourself.
So you get so excited you spend too much money is what you're saying.
You can spend too much money. You can have an unrealistic sense of what to expect.
This is gonna happen, so I can go buy that new car right now.
Right, this is going to be a great time. Now, it doesn't mean you can't get that new car, but I think the message when you put both Jupiter and Sagittarius together, you want to use wisdom. you want to say that it's not just a gamble, but it's something that you know, regardless of what's going on, that you can afford.
Okay. Right. So yeah, so you really have to go ahead,
two
please.
examples, like
Uh-huh.
one of them was General Custer, and he was a Sagittarian. He was actually a double Sagittarian, and he was considered a very optimistic, jovial kind of person, and he had total belief in himself. Of course, he died in battle because he had no sense that, how many Indians were really going to be out there, and he took all his troops in, everybody died. But he just had so the negative of that is when you put those energies together, it is almost too much confidence.
Mm.
And that's why the key word is wisdom.
Wisdom. Yeah. Use your wisdom and don't fall to overconfidence.
Right, and not to make sure that would not be something that you'd experience, because of course nobody wants to come up short. Like again, I'll go back to the financial crisis that was 12 years ago. It affected a great many people where there was this huge downturn. Not only even if you weren't involved in the mortgage crisis, money was really, it took a nosedive during that time.
Mm-hmm. And so are you anticipating that, when you look at a global kind of chart, are you anticipating that this
Oh, I hope
Sagittarius?
not. I hope we've learned something. I really,
Yeah.
more than anything, that's why the key is called wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And so that if we can learn from our past, we don't have to repeat the past.
Right.
But if we don't know, and there's a lot of fluctuation right now in the market, so I'm certainly not capable of predicting exactly what's
Sure.
going to happen, but I know there's volatility.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So there's volatility. So one of the things maybe we could go over is hopefully people know where Sagittarius is in their chart, or are going to get online and get a copy of their chart and see where it is in what house. Maybe we could briefly go over the houses so
I
that.
think that would be great, because
Wonderful.
I think it's so interesting to know and to kind of a heads up
Yeah.
about the best that you can do with that. And I'd really like to focus on the best, but not in a unrealistic way.
Sure.
Like
Okay.
when Jupiter right now, if you have Sagittarius rising, then it's in your first house, and it will be there for the whole next 12 months.
Wow.
And the rising sign is considered your appearance in the world. It's how do people see you. And so when Jupiter's there, it's a time to really look like you believe in yourself. So that means clothing, just your attitude, how you carry yourself. And, it is a time to, let people know by the clothes you wear, the things you talk about. Yes, it is a superficial house. That's why I'm talking about some superficial things. But it means this is your time to make the best first impression. And that impression will last for the next 12 years.
Wow.
So you're working on that,
wow.
Impression all of the next 12 months, but it doesn't come back for review for 12 years.
So are you basically saying, depending where Jupiter is in your chart, that whatever changes occur over this next year, it's going to affect you for 12 years until it revisits that part of the
Yes.
sky again?
Yes.
Wow.
And
That's very
Jupiter
interesting.
is such an interesting planet. It's so big, it's so huge, and I think it was Zeus's home, and Zeus was known to be one of the gods that just did whatever he wanted. He didn't care what anybody thought. He was amoral, let's just say it. And so, but that's how he became so feared from the other gods, because he was brash. He would go out and do things. And, so where Jupiter is, it has a long lasting effect.
Wow. Okay, great. So that's the first house,
That's the
basically.
first house. And the
Mm-hmm.
second house, which is the house of money and finances,
Wow.
but it also has to do with the gifts and talents that you bring to any situation. And it really is a time to build a stronger resource base. So looking around at either what you own or how you're using your talents and abilities that you already have. Now, if somebody wanted to know, what if I wanted to buy a house, but I don't quite have the money for it, and Jupiter's in your second house? Well, it can be a good time for that because it's a time, if you went to the bank, you might find that you look better than you would have thought you did. You just want to
That's
make sure you can
nice.
back that up.
Yeah. So even if you think you don't have enough money, the bank's going to go, "Hey, your numbers look really good. We'll give you the money, and you just have to make sure that you actually can afford that monthly
That's how
mortgage."
the
Right.
housing crisis happened last
Right.
time. People would go to the bank and they thought they didn't have money and they could never borrow enough. And the banks were saying, sure, you can have this, but there was a balloon payment that was due and
Right.
most people couldn't afford it.
They had sketchy mortgage type plans, right? Where,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a little sketchy. And yeah.
It was sketchy, and it cost a lot of people. They're probably still digging out
Right.
now,
Yeah. A lot of
12 years
foreclosures.
later.
Right. Yeah. Well, hopefully we're going to send positive energy for everyone that.
To use it and to remember the other word is not only expand, but it
Yeah.
has to do with wisdom.
Right.
And it has to
Wisdom.
do with ask for more in your life, but ask for it with wisdom.
Love that. I love how you're pairing this expansion because Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So that's why people who have it in their second house can go to the bank and the bank says, "Yeah, you can buy that house. Yay."
Yes,
But be
yes.
wise about it, right?
Be wise about it
I love
and
it.
know that you haven't, regardless of what the bank might say or a loan officer might say, if it seems too good to be true, you really want to go back and really think about it
Yeah.
and say, is this really possible?
Can
Can we
still
afford this?
And can we still go to Hawaii on vacation annually, or can we go to people need vacations too, right? Not just a
They
house,
do need
right?
vacations, but the second house doesn't have to really do with vacations,
Yeah,
but it
I
does
know.
have to do with reality.
Yeah,
So,
reality.
if going on vacation is something you really need every year, then it could come into that house.
Okay, great. Okay, so what about the third house?
The third house is a time when you need to express yourself. It's a time that you're seeking out creative exchange with others. You want to be in a give and take. Some people go back to school. Some people, join a group or a committee where there might be some real lively exchange in the sense of sometimes it can even seem argumentative,
Mm-hmm.
but you're kind of up for it. You really want to stand up for yourself, express yourself. And even if you've been a person who's always been pretty shy, Jupiter going through your third house, it says this is not a time to hold yourself back with this definition of shyness. It's like really go for it. Let people know who you are.
Time to join Toastmasters.
Join Toastmasters. That is exactly right. And it can surprise some people because
Yeah.
you might be more argumentative than you've ever been. And maybe that's your true nature, but you were always holding it back.
Maybe you should go to law school.
Go to law school.
There you
It is
go.
a time you want more education. You want more challenge on an intellectual level.
Fascinating. Okay, fourth house.
So in the fourth house, it is a time to really ask yourself about your home and your family. I mean, is it a time the literal home needs an upgrade? Is it time that you want to remodel something? Are you really utilizing your house or your base of operations to its maximum potential?
Mm-hmm.
And it is a time to also, instead of having a lot of friends, remember the fourth house is the bottom of the horoscope. It's a time when you're looking for the people you can really depend on. Sometimes that's family members. Sometimes it's not. But it is the group of people, group of friends that you can be with. They've been with you through thick or thin.
Oh, that's so nice. That's
It
wonderful.
is nice.
So maybe do some more wallpapering and have a a beautiful Christmas gathering.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. And maybe, yeah, connecting with people that maybe you had been somewhat on the outside, and you're going, no, these are people that really matter to me.
Oh, I love that. I love it.
Yeah, that is great. Now, Jupiter, when it's in the fifth house, it is a time to have fun, to go on a vacation. It's actually a time to be rather silly, to not be too responsible, but we wouldn't want to be irresponsible. It can just be so interesting how the fifth house, you're really wanting to expand your individuality. You want to take chances, but there can be a certain sense of, you pushed it too far. You actually forgot too much about your responsibilities.
Okay, so people who have it in their fifth house need to keep it in check. Unless you're a super responsible person, maybe you need a little bit of a break,
Yes,
right?
it is a time. If you're a super responsible person, you do need a break, and you're
Yeah.
really saying, "I'm going to go on that vacation. I'm going to, I want to really go out and have
Yeah.
fun and just."
Right.
And a lot of times, it is the house also of sexuality, and it's
Oh,
a time where
interesting.
people, they kind of want to date, or they want to do things, or they want to expand, their relationship with a romantic partner.
Huh, fascinating.
And
Fascinating.
maybe not the person you're thinking about marrying, but a person that is a stepping stone to maybe finding that person.
Hmm, very interesting. Wow. Okay. And then the sixth house?
That is when you really have to go back to basics, because you probably blew it when it was in your fifth house. So you really have to say, how's my health? How's my diet? And it's a time to maybe even look for an opportunity to explore a new diet. Everything that would have to do with making you feel better, more effective, and really enjoy the responsibilities that you do have.
Mm-hmm. And then the seventh house?
Well, I think it's a time to really, all relationships can usually stand some improving. So when Jupiter goes in the seventh house, you look at your partner. If you're married, you're in a long-term relationship, any kind of relationship that you're involved in, and you're saying, how can I make this even better?
Right.
How can we really fulfill the promise that we felt when we first met each other? How can we expand that?
Wow. Wow. That's a big deal, for partners to sit down and reevaluate their relationship I mean, it's a good thing, I think, but hopefully allow it to be a very positive
I don't think
experience.
it happens very often, really, because
No.
you're so vulnerable to do that.
You know,
To open yourself up to maybe the person saying, "You know what I never liked about you?" You go, "Please don't tell me,"
yeah.
but they do.
One of my clients said to me once, and I always thought this was a great idea. She thought that she was going through a divorce at the time, and she thought marriage licenses should be renewable, and that every 3 to 5 years you sit down with your partner and you go, "Hey, how's it going?" And it costs like $300 to get the new license, so it's not cheap, right? And
Yes,
right,
that sounds really good, because it is a time to renew that connection with a very special person. Now,
right.
also, when Jupiter's there, it means it's more than likely a time when people start to enter your life, maybe not on a romantic level. Could be a new job, people that you're just communicating with. Maybe somebody wants to do a business partnership with you. And, it's a time to expand on that level.
Wow, wow, that's fascinating. Wonderful. Okay, for some reason I love the eighth house. For I don't know why. Maybe because I just love the number eight. But so what's up with the eighth house?
Well, the eighth house has to do with intimacy, and it
Oh.
has to do with, so you're not just with the partner. In the eighth house, it's when you explore the really co-connection with the other person,
Ah.
where your spirits can really commingle, and you are giving more. In a sense, it's like you start to need your partner more than you had before. Instead of just being separate by yourself, it's when the two of you really start to merge with each
Hmm.
other.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
it is a time to explore anything that has been dormant in you, any kind of talents or abilities. It's a time to dig deep into your emotional self.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even know what it stood for, but that just sounds amazing to me.
Well,
Love it.
I can see that with you because it is also a time to expand the investigator that's inside yourself. It's
Right?
like be
Yeah.
the detective, go deep. And that goes for the people that you are meeting. Now, the
Right.
eighth house for many people is considered somewhat of a secretive house. And it's not
Oh.
because you're trying to hold something back. It might be because you feel vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
to let everything out.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Jupiter's there, it says maybe you could take a chance with that. Maybe you're going to feel better if you let more of your vulnerabilities come to the surface.
Wow. Okay, ninth house. I know I'm rushing you, but I'm just making sure we get
I
through all the
know. Okay, the
houses.
ninth house is the house where you might be bored with whatever's been predictable in your life, and you want to expand all your horizons. You want to recognize there's a big world out there, whether it's on a mental level or a physical level, but you are ready to, expand, explore, you know, go out, do something new.
Wow. Okay. Excellent. That sounds like so much fun.
I know. I think that's
That's
something you like.
I
It's
do love
because it
that.
really has to do with getting past the I can't do that, I shouldn't do that, I'm
Right.
afraid to do that, and just saying go for it.
Like heck with it.
Jupiter,
I'm
well,
going to do it.
Jupiter and Sagittarius are both at home in the ninth house. That is the house of
Wow.
optimistically expanding past boundaries.
Wow. Beautiful. And 10th house?
10th house, it's a time to ask for a raise or a promotion, but it's also a time to recognize that you're a part of a bigger community. And is there a way you can find more fulfillment in the give and take of your responsibilities?
Wow. Okay. 11th?
The 11th, it's time to really look at your long term plans for your life because you might have outgrown your old priorities. More than likely, it's been 12
Wow.
years, so you're going,
Wow.
yeah, I had certain goals last time. Those are not my goals now. What do you want? And really looking at that. And then as you explore this side of yourself, you may also want to spend more time with like minded people. So oftentimes
Mm.
in the 11th house, you are creating a new group of friends and
Mm.
people that you're involved with.
Wow. Wow. So a new community, but maybe
A new community. It is a time for a new community. And, finding and honoring these new alliances that are going to help you into this new realm of something brand new in your life.
wow. Okay. 12th house.
12th house, it is a very quiet, reflective time. It is a time to really acknowledge that it's been a very busy 12 years and you need to just
Wow.
absorb what you've already been doing. And, it's a time of meditation, being quiet. It is a great time to go on a retreat. It's a time to write a book. It's a time to,
Wow.
just do something. It doesn't necessarily have to involve other people. It's more a time of, I like this thing that Stephen Forrest once said. He said, it's a time to listen to your angels. And
Oh,
you can't listen to your angels if you're so busy and you have
no.
so much responsibility and things are going on. So what you want to expand in the 12th house is quietness, contentment with yourself.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing the houses. I hope everybody gets their
We got
chart.
there. We
I
did
know.
it.
Good job. I'm very impressed. So now I'm going to ask a question, and it may seem unrelated, but for some reason, my mind tells me there's a relationship between Jupiter, being in Sagittarius right now, and as soon as it leaves, we're going to move into the Aquarian age in 2020. So I'm just curious: is there some sort of connection, or am I
Well,
misunderstanding this?
every 12 years, it
Yeah.
goes from Sagittarius
Uh huh.
to Capricorn to Aquarius. And so
Oh.
by 2020, but we have all of, so there's one other step before it gets to Aquarius. And
Oh.
I think it is a time to be thinking long term and to be more visionary with how we are living our lives and the kind of relationships we're having with others.
Wow.
That is going to be the foundation of what we should experience when 2020 comes around.
Wow. Do you think it's going to, I just have this feeling it's really going to be blessing And I can't think beyond the American people. You know, I'm sure it's going to bless the entire world, but I just feel like there's going to be this really interesting blessing in 2020 for.
Well, I'm going to hold on to that thought that you had, because I know that you're very, very sensitive and you pick up on these things, and I would hope that's the highest expression of this, that we will, all of us, kind of cleanse out the parts of ourselves that are dark and fearful, and we start living our true potential so that we can get to a place where we accept more light into our lives.
Wow. Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it, Lucy, just letting you know. I think it's going to happen.
Oh, good. I
But
just love that.
we'll see. We've got a year or so to figure that all out. But thank you so much for coming on the show. It was delightful. And
Well, I've just loved it. Thank you very much for having me.
thank you so much. And have a great day where the skies are blue.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And we're going to take a break here on the Marie Manuchehri Show.
Yep, and we'll give out the number too, because you can dial in
Great.
877-825. Let me start over. 877-825-8828. See, rhythm has everything all around me. So here we go.
Marie Manuchehri has had the pleasure
Pets bring so much joy to our lives. They're loyal, they're protective, and smart. Yet as smart as our pets might be, they can't advocate for themselves, especially in the event of a natural disaster. Hi, I'm Sean Lowe. Last year during Hurricane Harvey, I saw the impact of natural disaster firsthand. Many families suffered the added heartbreak of being separated from their pets. That's why it's important your pet is part of your family's disaster preparedness plan. Like storing pet food, medical records and supplies in waterproof containers. Proper identification, a microchip, and a photo of you with your pet can help in case you get separated. And keep their favorite comfort toy handy. If you take steps now, you'll encounter less stress during the chaos of an emergency. To learn how you can prepare your pet for a natural disaster, talk to your veterinarian and visit banfieldfoundation.org/disaster. That's banfieldfoundation.org/disaster. Don't save it for a rainy day.
The Marie Manuchehri Show is streamed live over the internet. So if you have friends or family members living outside of the Seattle area, wanting answers to life's questions, encourage them to listen to the show and to call into the show to talk with Marie. If you are interested in receiving guidance on an issue in your life, call Marie locally at 425-373-5527 or toll free at 1-877-825-8828 for her insight into your situation.
I'm Gary Mance.
I'm Suzanne Mitchell.
We're a couple of baby boomers who bring you a talk radio mix of metaphysics and music, politics, and pop culture.
And you never know which celebrity will join us for an interesting conversation.
Mance and Mitchell is Boomer HQ, Friday and Saturday mornings at 10 on 1150 AM KKNW.
Your home for alternative talk in Seattle and Western Washington.
Hello, this is Marie Manuchehri, and I'm thrilled to announce some of my classes that will be emerging in 2019. On March 23rd and 24th, I will be teaching Divine Energy Medicine in Vancouver, Washington. This is the second time I will be teaching this course. It's all about vibration. In my healing practice, one of the things that I focus on is the energy, obviously, of the individual that I'm working on and their frequency. And my job is to get their vibration to rise at a very high molecular level so that they can attract in what's healthy and good for their body or the future things that they want to create in their life. As I do that process, as I align their subatomic particles, I'm also aligning my vibration as well. In fact, my goal is to get their vibration at least as high as my subatomic particles are. So this class is designed to talk about energy medicine on a very deep level, including the chakras and anatomy and all the beautiful things that occur in the physical form, but also how to maintain and create a vibrational frequency that allows for healing to occur much faster and on many, many levels. I look forward to seeing you in March. I hope you can join me. For more information, go to Energy Intuitive. So now that we know where Sagittarius is in our chart, we can move on into the world. And actually, things are really expanding politically in terms of people going to jail, which I think is fascinating. Finally, people are getting more than 2 weeks in jail or something like that for like doing some sort of conspiracy, against the government or helping the president hide all of his mistresses or whatever. I mean, finally, someone's going to jail for more than 2 weeks. And these guys are going. Thank you, Benny. These guys are going to federal prison. Okay, federal prison is nice. So they have a racquetball court and they have a running place and a walking place and they have kosher food in one of them. So it's okay, I want to go to that prison and take a break, relax.
Luxury,
I guess lights out are at 11:30 at night and then they wake them up at 6:30 in the morning. I mean, come on, it sounds like a vacation. Sounds very relaxing. So 3 years is nothing. For one of them anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah. So expansion can happen that way too. It's not just about everything expands. Even let's say justice could be expanding more in 2019 because it needs to. It really needs to. Yeah. So who do we have on the phone lines?
Yeah, we'll jump to them right now. They've been waiting very patiently.
I know. That's so kind of
Super
them.
kind.
Since we went live, people have been waiting, and we just so appreciate that. Thank you so much.
We'll take Amanda calling in from Samish Island. Hey, Amanda.
Hi.
Hi, Amanda. How are you?
I'm great. It's really great to talk to you. This is my first time calling in.
Oh, well, thank you so much for calling into the show. And what can I do for you?
Well, as I sat here and listened to the first half an hour, I feel like I'm kind of on the right path, but I could definitely use your your ideas as well.
Sure, I love that.
I have signed up for your class at the end of the month, The Art of Creating Wealth, with my best friend, and I will be attending Friday and Saturday.
Thank you. It's going to be so fun, by the way. We're going to have a blast.
Yeah, we're really excited. So,
Yay.
Both my best friend and I turned 40 this year. She has a family of her own. I'm still looking for love as a Libra over all these years. So I kind of wanted to ask a question about that. But what I is more pressing is that she and I have an opportunity to invest in a shellfish propagating business, and her family has tidal lands, and so basically it's just finding the correct means to invest in the shellfish and then growing them.
I think it feels great. I think it feels great to me. I have a good feeling about it. And you do too. You do too.
Oh,
in fact, it's almost too easy. You're like, what? We can do this and make a living or create wealth, or, you know what I mean? Like you can feel it. Don't you agree?
Oh, I agree completely. And I pulled out my chart that a mutual friend of ours made for me from Ellensburg a while ago. And Jupiter's in my 5th house, which is for fun and play. And that's exactly how I feel when I used to actually work out on a shellfish farm out here on Samish Island. And yeah, so it feels good in that way. So
yeah,
I just will probably be talking to you about it when I attend your workshop as
okay,
well.
Perfect. Yeah. I have a good feeling about it, and I think it's fun for you to venture out and do something different that you weren't even expecting. That's always nice too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you have a what if question that I can think about before I come in?
That's
to your
such a great
workshop?
idea because you tend to worry. You're kind of a worrier. Would you agree?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and worrying energy actually just slows everything down. First of all, it's not real. It's usually from analytical processing, mental racquetball. That is just
Oh, yeah.
exhausting, right? Just exhausting. So, yeah, I mean, simple ones. What if everything's working out for me? And emphasize the everything, because your mind will go, well, yeah, that thing's working out and that thing's working out. But so, what if everything is working out for me? What if a choir of angels is sending positive light to my entire life? I think that's a good one for you. I like that.
I love that.
And notice how we made it a little mystic and kind of general, because with a mind that can think about a lot of things and worry, we don't want to get too detailed, because your brain will then go, or potentially venture off into that yellow brick road that's not healthy for you versus the one that is. It's going to run into the flying monkeys versus the Tin Man,
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, I
Okay.
think that second one will be the very best for you, just to feel like you're supported by the universe, because everyone is, but people have to let it in. Like, that's a big, I think, issue for humans is if we can't see it, if it's not physically there for us, we don't believe that it exists, and we get focused on the very limited human perception of reality, which is not also real. But in reality, there are beings of all kinds of vibration, positive, that are there to help every single one of us to move forward, succeed, change, whatever it is that we wish to desire. They're there to help us in every way, shape, or form. But we need to allow them to come in for the help, because they believe in free will, and they're going to stand outside of our auric field and send us love, but they're not going to be super proactive if we're not allowing that to happen. So I think that will make a big difference for you.
That is just beautiful.
Great. Well, thank you so much for calling in, and I'll see you next month.
Yes, and thanks to Lisa and to Benny for all you do too. I really appreciate all of it. Thank you. Thank you, Marie.
So sweet. You're welcome, and I agree. Thank you, Lisa and Benny, for all your help.
Thanks,
so
Amanda.
helpful.
High fives all around, people.
Yeah.
Good job.
Okay, who do we have next?
Yeah, we'll take Nicole calling in from L.A. Hi, Nicole.
Hi there. How's it going?
It's really great. Thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm doing okay. I was just calling in because I'm having kind of an interesting, I don't know if it's a cycle or what it is, but I've gone through a series of car accidents, and I just had my fifth one in a period of 4 years a few weeks ago.
That's just terrible.
Yeah, and so they've kind of run the gamut with how extreme they've been versus very
You've been
minor
really
fender benders.
lucky. I mean, you have been very lucky, right?
I have. This last one I was incredibly blessed and protected, so I'm trying to sit in the gratitude of that.
Yeah.
And so, but just trying to, I guess, kind of understand the overall lessons of maybe what this is and the injuries that I've sustained.
Yeah. Well, overall car accidents are about not being present. So you need to get present. You have to be in your body more. And I think if you can just really focus on that when you're in the car, not out of fear, like, which I don't blame you if that's something that you have to kind of go through the next time you get in a car, and make sure you get some really good, 6 airbag cars, like make sure you got a lot of airbags.
Mine didn't deploy on the last one.
Really? Yeah. I want you to make
and
sure.
I don't understand why.
Yeah. One of my favorite cars, although I don't own this particular brand anymore because I just felt like they put a lot of airbags in there, or BMWs have a lot of airbags. So even if you get an older one, you're going to have side, and I'm sure there's other brands that have them as well. But I that was the I always bought older ones, and I always pass them down to my kids. I'm like, okay, probably you're going to be perfectly fine if something terrible happens. So buy an old car. If you want to, you don't have to buy an old one, but something that's got a lot of airbags for you. All right. Well, I'm just saying, why not, right? And then your job is to be present. I drew out your energy, and there was one thing that really pointed out to me. I'm just going to show it to the. Sometimes I lift them up for the camera. You can't really see them very well because I write all over it. Right down a little bit lower. Oh, Benny's going to do it. Okay. And what I noted when I drew out your energy was the back of your third eye. It extends really far. That means, from my personal perception, it means that you are highly self-critical. Is that true for you?
It is, and that's actually where I'm feeling the most injury from this last accident.
Okay, because you've got to stop this. The front of your third eye is stunning. You are very intuitive, super intuitive. But because you're so hard on yourself, you can't really sense the full aspect of your intuition. What happens when people have an extended third eye, and thank you, Benny, for putting that up to the camera. When you have an extended third eye, it means that there's hundreds, maybe thousands of little filters that look like tiny chakras, at least from my perception, tiny little chakras that are then filtering information based on a low vibration of self-worth. So they're contorting your psychic information and not presenting you with an authentic picture. And one of the ways we avoid car accidents or anything that could be difficult for us, it's our intuition. One of my clients once told me she was at a stoplight and the light had turned, and maybe it was someone on the radio. I can't remember where it came from. I talked to a lot of people, lots of people. But anyway, she was at a light. It was red. And when it turned green, she heard a very soft voice say, "Don't move." So she didn't proceed through the intersection, and a car came barreling through the intersection that would have hit her, and she was unscathed, of course, because she didn't move through. So when you can be in your body more and be less self-critical, that would be freaking amazing for you, because intuition is significant. And even though you've been through this accident, your body has beautiful, strong energy in it. So I think you just have to get present. I don't think you really know what being present really means. Does that make sense?
It does. And I've been realizing, even like, especially through this process, that I haven't been present until I become present. And then all of a sudden I'm kind of going like, oh, where have I been? That's disturbing how I don't
think it's disturbing. I think it's actually really good that you're noticing the difference. And so your job is to be more present. The present moment sometimes feels kind of boring initially because the brain is so dramatic, right? And comes up with like 8,000 horrible things for you to look at and think through. And so initially being present feels kind of boring, but then it gets really beautiful and very powerful and extremely deep. It's a phenomenal place to be in, seriously. Like right now, and then I'll go on to our next caller. The hummingbirds are actually just having a lot of fun by my house, and there's a hydrangea outside of my treatment office that I don't trim back until spring because I love to garden. So of course I should be out there trimming all those dead, blossoms off. But the hummingbirds like to sit underneath the dead blossoms and have their showers. And it just delights me to just watch them showering away on these dead stems, and it's just beautiful. So that's what it's like when you're in the present moment. You get to see things that you wouldn't normally pay attention to, and they become transformative. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome, and we're glad you're safe and no more accidents for you, okay? That's enough.
Yeah, thanks very much, Nicole, for joining us. 877-825-8828 is the number. We have about 15 minutes left in the show, so we'll quickly head off to another caller. We have Nita now calling in from San Diego. Hi, Nita.
Hi.
Hi, Nita. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
I'm excited to hear. I found out about you through Suzanne Giesman's radio show.
I love Suzanne.
I do, too.
She
absolutely
is
her.
She is fantastic.
Absolutely loved it. So now I love you too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope that she and I will be able to work together in the future. We talked about it briefly, so we might be working on that. So that would be lovely. So what can I do for you?
Well, I was going to ask a different question. Oh, I also just...
This is why I do not read the reader board because, it's typed in there very beautifully and lovely, but people change their mind, right? Because they're hearing something and go, wait a minute, okay, I got that figured out. Now I'm going to ask this question. So what's your question for me?
Yeah, I didn't get it figured out, but it's synchronicity that you and Lucy were talking about expansion. Yeah. Yesterday, I had the impulse to buy the URL expansionu.com.
Oh my gosh! What a favorite! What a beautiful URL, right? What a beautiful one. Beautiful.
So instead of asking about a health thing, I'd like to think about what advice or information you could give me about my career. I'm in a period of change.
Right, and it's funny when I drew out your energy system, and I'm going to lift that up. I don't know if Benny wants to move it to the thing or not. Your energy is kind of clear. Now, granted, I'm doing this in a very short period of time, right? And so I always feel like the universe gives me exactly what I need in that moment to help someone for a couple minutes on the air. So it's kind of like your energy system is like, thank you, Benny, is like a blank canvas, which is actually very powerful. People don't realize that. It's as soon as we stop thinking that we know who we are and we feel maybe slightly confused by who we are, that's when we can start to fill in the blanks and color the spaces. And so it's really good to have this blank slate, which you must be having right now to some degree because of the way I drew out your subatomic particles. So if indeed that's true for you, I think you have to go for the gusto. Don't be too careful in your visions and your manifesting experiences about who you are becoming. Reach out further. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So don't limit yourself. Be open to like, what if I am phenomenal in my new career? What if I'm phenomenal in my new work, or whatever words you want to use? Like, don't make it safe. Make it expansive so that you can get at least half of that or more. And so people play it too safe when they're wanting to absorb something really powerful into their life. And I don't recommend that. I absolutely do not. So like, make some great what if questions that are huge and large and lead you to, the leading edge. Okay?
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
I love the idea. Thank you.
Okay. And I know you're going to do your homework because I can tell you do your homework. So that's excellent.
Thanks.
Okay. Have a lovely day in San Diego.
Can I add one more thank you?
Sure.
My sister was on your radio show a little while ago with a migraine issue, and the advice that you gave her has already made some dramatic improvement.
Oh, I'm so grateful. Thank you for letting me know. It's really, really wonderful, and we're very happy it was helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Thank
Alrighty.
you, Marie.
Sure.
Thanks, Nita, for joining us. 877-825-8828 is the number for the Marie Manuchehri Show. Tina from Newport, Oregon. Hi, Tina. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi, Tina. What can I do for you?
Well, I wanted to get you to read my chakras, read my energy. I have been having a lot of neck pain, but also I'm working on my doctorate degree, and I can't seem to nail down what I want to focus on with my thesis. So,
and when do you have to have that information like nailed down? Like, when do you have to say this is what my thesis will be on? When do you have to do that?
well, I have to have it nailed down pretty soon, like within the next couple months.
Okay, that's okay, because it's just hasn't presented itself yet. It just hasn't. You know what I mean? Like, and you're smart, right? We know you're an intelligent person. You've been in school forever. Yeah, because my two younger kids have a PhD, so I know how long they were in school, and I have copies of one of their thesis, in the house, beautifully bound and gorgeous, right? So I know what you're, how much effort and time you put into this. But sometimes things require just a little bit of magic. And so here's what I'm going to ask you to do. And you may not like it. I want you to stop thinking about this. I want you to stop worrying about it. I want you to wait till you're inspired. And if you got a couple months, this could be handled in a couple of weeks, but you've got to stop looking for it. This is the image I get. Like, you're in your house and you lost something, and it's kind of tiny and it's transparent. And so it's really hard to find. And you've got papers everywhere. You've got carpets lifted up. You were afraid to vacuum, and you were just spending all this energy. You've got to stop and just relax and just go, oh, I can't, it's coming to me. It's all, what if it's already here? What if what if I've been enlightened with the perfect inspirational thesis subject matter that I could possibly imagine? I want you to let go. Everything happens in the nothingness. Everything happens in the nothingness. So let it go so you can be inspired, so you can have fun writing all those thousands of words that you're going to have to write. Okay?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything about my chakras or?
I drew out your energy system. It's really actually quite interesting. You're the only two. Well, no, I drew out 3 chakras. Probably I always say this, but probably my favorite chakras. But I always say that, so can't really take that to the bank. But your crown chakra, your third eye, and your root are highly significant. Your root's a little longer than I would like it to be, and that's always a sign of fear. Like, you have too much fear in your body. I would work on not being afraid, just in general. What if I know that I'm always safe? What if I feel protected and adored and cherished with every breath I take? I think that would be lovely. But what I also found fascinating is your auric field is really tight against you. I actually like it. I'm not complaining about it. I just think this is a time for you to kind of cocoon in. Sit by the fire. Don't worry about stuff. Have some hot cocoa. Just relax. Have some fun. Don't sweat anything. That's just not good for you right now. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you, and
Thank
good luck
you.
with your thesis. I think that's amazing. And before
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you so much. And before we go to our next caller, because I think that's what Benny was planning to do, I wanted to talk about a new online class that's now on my website. It's called Advanced Chakra Experience with Me. And we're going to be talking about the chakra system in depth, just like I do here on the show, like the filters that present themselves in an extended back of the third eye that actually dilute your intuition. We're going to be talking about that and the auric field and like how is that third layer of the field affecting your immune system, because it does. So we're going to talk in great detail. Of course, my desire is that people are able to read their own energy or read the energy of others more accurately. I believe that that's normal and healthy. So I just wanted to let you know that class is coming up. You can go to the website now and sign up for it. That one is in March. It's February. It's a 3-series course, so it's an hour and a half, February 20th, March 6th, and March 20th. I'll make a commercial for it. Haven't done that yet. Benny will make it all pretty for us.
I think we just did it.
Yeah, I guess we did.
Just
Yeah,
cut it out
okay,
and throw some
great.
music
All
under
right. So who do we have next?
Plain and simple. Right
Yeah, there you go.
We'll
Okay,
take,
I love it.
yeah, sure. Allison calling in from California. Hi, Allison. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, Allison, what can I do for you?
So, how long do I have? No, just kidding.
Well, we only have I have 6 more minutes
Just a couple of minutes, yeah.
before Benny kicks me off the air, because he has to have the next host come on, and so I have to leave the studio. So what can I do for you?
So I called in about, I'd love a general energy reading, and then more specifically, I've had probably almost a decade of jaw clenching.
Yeah, so do you wear a night guard?
Problem, I do.
Yeah, me too. I have one.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't sleep without it, actually. I've had it for so long.
I have Marie remove it before she comes on the air.
Yeah. No, you know what's so funny? My bed's kind of big. And all my bedding is white. And so I have to search for that night guard every morning, because I take it out first thing in the morning. Where is that dang thing? And then I have to go put it in the cup. It's a little weird, but we all need that if we're going to clench our jaw, right? Okay, so now on to your question.
My own TMI.
What can I do for you? What's your question?
Yeah, so is there, I'm just wondering if there's a root cause or something?
Yes, of course there is. Absolutely. So the fifth chakra in the physical body governs your jaw, governs your mouth, it governs the upper GI, so this is all about speaking your truth. So you need to speak your truth more.
Okay.
Yeah. And no, seriously. I'm absolutely serious about it. You need to speak your truth more. It's very important for you. And you hide your truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, stop it. You can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Knock it off. Yeah. And then maybe you won't have to wear a night guard, which would be nice, but
that's what I'm hoping.
But, if you have to, it's okay too. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, just get a cushy one. I got to find a cushy one. Yeah, I'm looking for a cushy one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for calling in. That was beautiful. Yeah.
Just quickly, could I ask if there's can you do just a general energy
I did.
reading?
I looked at your energy. Everything looks gorgeous, by the way. You're grounded. You're open to the heavens. Your third eye is amazing. So everything looks great.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Thanks, Allison. All right, I think we're going to have time for one more. We'll take Jennifer calling in from Berkeley.
Okay, Jennifer. What can I do for you?
Hi, Marie. I can't believe I'm talking to you.
Is this your first time calling into the show?
It is, yeah.
Oh,
but I have
thank you.
spoken with you before.
Have we, a session or something is what you're saying? Oh,
yeah.
Great. Great.
Yeah, so I recently found out that I have fibroids.
Uh-huh.
And apparently they're pretty large, and I have many. So so I'm kind of considering different options about what to do.
Right.
And
you're relatively young. I mean, we're all young, but you're not my age, where when you reach a certain age, those fibroids can kind of begin to disappear because of hormonal changes, but you're not in that age group. So I'm going to recommend the ablation.
Embolization?
Ablation.
Ablation.
Have they talked to you about that?
No.
Okay.
Ablation.
So ablation therapy, it's something they do to the uterus, but it will just depend, and they can do it to other parts of the body too. They do it for AFib and the heart. It would just depend on if some of those fibroids have moved through the uterine wall, then they can't do the ablation. And of course, I haven't been in a hospital for a long time, so
I don't believe they have.
yeah. So talk to your doctor.
I've had an MRI and everything.
Yeah.
Ablation. Okay, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, this may sound kind of weird, but they actually burn like the lining of the uterus, and so then the lining reproduces and it removes the fibroids. I mean, you're going to actually have to talk to a physician about it to find out for sure, but I don't think it's a very invasive procedure, and I think it's really effective if you are if it works for what's going on with your beautiful uterus. And fibroids about being pissed off, by the way. Women repress their anger into their reproductive organs. So I'm going to recommend you start screaming and yelling and throwing pillows and slamming doors. Not necessarily at anyone, but if you don't feel angry, I want you to lay down on the floor and have a temper tantrum. And you need to do this multiple times a week so you don't have the fibroids come back.
Okay.
Seriously, I'm not kidding.
Interesting. Okay, because I've heard it's about blocked creativity.
Well, the second chakra does govern creativity, but fibroids are a result of repressed anger.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Okay, he's playing the music, so I have to go. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this show. Thank you so much, Jennifer, and we're sending beautiful love to your uterus. And we wish everyone joyful blessings, and bye-bye for now.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host, guest, and